Nature's way because they deserve it.
Time Check, brought to you by BioStrath Immune with added zinc. Distributed by H&J Enterprises Limited.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3. I'm Ria Ramble.
I'm Ryan Bechu.
I am Jassi Marik with sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight.
It is alleged that PC Douglas' licensed firearm was taken from his possession during the incident.
Cop killed in gun battle. PC Rommel Kerry Douglas is shot dead during a suspected robbery in Caroni. A 19-year-old gunman is also killed.
After months of freedom, jet ski operator appears in court charged with Angelica Jogi's death, now denied bail.
Defense Minister praises Operation Southern Spare, even as a Washington Post investigation questions its impact on cocaine trafficking.
Coming up in sport.
That hug. It felt like if he was silently telling himself, my son did it.
Lara, Lloyd, Muttley and more lead tributes to Sir Garfield Sobers at his emotional Bridgetown goodbye.
The weather stays quiet for now, but a tropical wave is already lining up to change the forecast. I've got details on that later.
A manhunt is now underway for suspects who shot and killed a 48-year-old policeman as he sat in his vehicle in Kelly Village last night.
Police say PC Rommel Kerry Douglas was in his Nissan Tida, the corner of the Caroni South Bank Road and Hydraulic Trace, around 11 p.m. when he was confronted by gunmen. Douglas shot one of his attackers, wounding him, while he was also shot by one of the bandits. He died at the scene while the bandits stole his licensed firearm. Police say a wounded suspect was dropped off at the Arima General Hospital, where he was declared dead shortly after. He was later identified as 19-year-old Aditola Amon. When CNC3 News visited the scene today, police were seen canvassing the area for evidence as frightened residents shared their concerns over safety in the community.
And no crime could come to your home, but I don't walk out like to come to the grocery or anything. My son, he's walk out and I tell him, I say, child crime get out of hand. Just come out here, you use your card, you have to be careful.
President of the Police Social Welfare Association, Assistant Superintendent Ishmael Pitt, condemned Douglas's murder. He was unable to confirm whether Douglas was moonlighting as a security guard at a nearby supermarket at the time of his death. He said he hopes that officers could be compensated adequately, which he felt would prevent such risks in the first place.
When police officers are properly well remunerated and, the terms and conditions are such that reflect a modern organization, we are quite certain that our officers will be in a better position to make the best decisions regarding their welfare and well-being.
Well, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service paused today to honor the life of PC Douglas, who was killed just last night. Before addressing the media, TTPS officials observed a minute of silence in memory of the fallen officer before acknowledging his family, friends, and loved ones.
Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara and the executive of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service extend condolences to the family of and friends and colleagues of number 17062 PC Douglas, PC Rommel Kerry Douglas to be exact, who was killed in Caroni last night.
Police are asking anyone with information on the officer's murder to come forward.
The jet ski operator accused of causing the death of 7-year-old Angelica Jogi at Pigeon Point on April 8th has been denied bail. 33-year-old Ashworth Burnett of Canaan appeared in the Scarborough Magistrates Court today to answer a charge of manslaughter. Burnett has been remanded into custody and will reappear in court on October 20th. The suspect is accused of breaching bathing-only zone with a jet ski and crashing into Angelica and other relatives. While relieved by the court's decision, Angelica's father Arnold Jogi said the July-August holidays have revived painful memories of the family's Easter vacation in Tobago.
Still like yesterday, so long as it pop up where you sit on myself or whatever, it's still hard on you. You go home in the evening, she's not there. now it's holiday time.
Jogi said the family remains traumatized by the incident and have stayed away from all beaches, pools and water parks since the tragedy. While a Washington Post investigation says a U.S. military campaign has failed to reduce the flow of cocaine into the United States, Trinidad and Tobago's defense minister insists the operation has been a success for this country.
Wayne Sturge says Operation Southern Spear gave the TT Coast Guard the breathing room needed to rebuild its naval capabilities and dramatically improve the interception of suspected vessels in local waters. More from Akash Samaru.
Every time a suspected drug boat exploded at sea, it was presented as another blow against the drug trade. Another shipment kept from reaching the United States and the Caribbean, along with the violence and criminal networks that fuel it. But a Washington Post investigation now claims those high-profile military strikes failed to reduce either the supply or the price of cocaine in the United States. Instead, it reported that traffickers adapted by abandoning high-speed go-fast boats in favor of larger vessels, hugging coastlines where U.S. forces were less likely to strike, and increasingly relying on aircraft departing clandestine airstrips along the Colombian-Venezuelan border for Guyana and Suriname. Now, this prompted CNC3 News to ask Defense Minister Wayne Sturge whether Operation Southern Spear had reduced drug trafficking into Trinidad and Tobago, and if it should be considered a success for the country. The minister said the operation delivered significant benefits by giving the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force time to restore its naval capabilities. Minister Sturge said Operation Southern Spear gave TNT much-needed breathing room to get its naval assets up to 75% capacity, and from the daily updates he receives, he can say for certain that the interception rates of suspected drug vessels entering this country's territorial waters are near 100%. Sturge, however, acknowledged that maritime interception alone would not solve the country's long-standing trafficking problem. He told CNC3 News the government remains fully aware of the fact that for the last 2 decades, most of the illegal firearms and narcotics enter through ports of legal entry, and that is something the state is still working on. CNC3 News asked for statistical evidence that less drugs are now coming into the country. However, the minister directed us to the police service, and questions on if Operation Southern Spear continues were referred to the U.S. Military Liaison Office of the U.S. Embassy. That request for data was sent to the TTPS late this afternoon, and we are awaiting a response. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
The Coast Guard is reporting its third maritime incident in a matter of days after several foreign nationals escaped into a Chatham forest during a chase. Officials say officers were pursuing a vessel yesterday when it was breached and abandoned by its occupants, who fled into the surrounding forest. A subsequent search failed to locate them. A search of the vessel uncovered assorted food items, clothing and livestock. The vessel was later secured and handed over to authorities for further investigations. The incident follows 2 other Coast Guard operations within the last 48 hours. One resulted in the seizure of 252 packets of a green plant-like substance from a pirogue traveling from Venezuela, while another led to the interception of a pirogue carrying 7 Venezuelan nationals near Monos Island. Meanwhile, the Venezuelan ambassador to this country says there seems to be a decline in the number of Venezuelans illegally entering TNT, despite not having the evidence to support his claim.
Police say they are maintaining a close watch on Trinidad's southwestern coastline following last week's tragedy that claimed the life of a Venezuelan child. At a TTPS media briefing today, ASP Joel Forbes said the area has long been used as an illegal entry point for migrants and remains a focus for law enforcement. Referring to the recent incident in which the child's body washed ashore, Forbes said officers are working alongside the Defense Force to tackle illegal migration. He added that police and Coast Guard continue to patrol the area in an effort to curb unlawful entries and prevent further loss of life.
What we have been able to do with law enforcement, with the assistance of the Defense Force personnel, we have been able to secure those borders. We are the police, we are willing, and we have been working assiduously to prevent future incidents like this from happening.
Forbes said his division maintains its integrity and overall successes through partnering with the communities.
Still to come in the news, months after the claim surfaced, the opposition leader questions why no one has been charged over the alleged plot to assassinate the Prime Minister.
The latest rolling blackouts across the country are blamed on a defect at the Powergen Point Lisas plant.
Coming up in sport, Akeem Stewart strikes precious metal in Scotland, winning TNT's first Commonwealth Games medal.
Life. What a wonderful journey we're on. Each stage is unique. And at Tata Life, we not only understand, but also appreciate that you'll have different needs at different times. So trust us to protect you and yours with our comprehensive range of financial planning solutions to ensure that you never, ever have to worry. To learn more, contact a Tata Life advisor or visit tatalife.co.tt today. For the many stages of your life, Tata Life, a member of the Ansa McCall Group.
Welcome back. The state is being asked to explain why mentally ill patient Natalie Harford was denied psychiatric treatment after being detained under preventive detention order. She's a daughter of the late Mario's Pizza founder, Richard Harford.
Harford was held in April accused of financing a violent gang and directing possible targets. Her attorneys, led by senior counsel Sophia Choate, claim they were unable to get instructions from her to challenge her detention before the State of Emergency Review Tribunal because of her mental health condition. They say they were denied video access to Harford until they obtained an injunction for her to be assessed at the St. Anne's Psychiatric Hospital. She spent a month there under police and prison guard and in mechanical restraints before being returned to the women's prison in Arouca. In the case filed last month, her attorneys argue that failing to transfer her to the hospital breached prison rules for inmates with mental health issues. When the matter came up this week, it was adjourned due to the absence of state attorneys. It returns to court on September 24th, though Harford could be released before then if the state of emergency ends in mid-September without being extended or renewed. With Star Sabga now subjected to house arrest, police say they are doing what is necessary to adhere to the court order.
Sabga, along with her relatives Genevieve and Dominic Hadid, were accused of plotting to murder the Prime Minister and other senior government officials. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander revoked the couple's PDOs last week, while Sabga's PDO remains in place. However, a High Court judge released Sabga on house arrest. Public Information Officer ASB Obi Russell says officers will do all that they can to avoid disrupting the lives of Sabga's neighbors at her Regent Towers Bayshore home.
At first, we'll have to do an assessment of the living facility, and then we will deploy our resources to ensure that we could comply and do our jobs without affecting the normal smooth runnings of other persons living in that facility as well.
Sabga was released on Monday night after the state withdrew its application to stay her release on house arrest.
Russell says police will comply with the court order which mandates that Sabga remain in her home and have no communication with the outside world unless authorized by the police commissioner. The now viral audio clip allegedly linked to Star Sabga has prompted businessman Gerald Aboud to raise questions about privacy rights in Trinidad and Tobago. The Starlight Group CEO says citizens deserve clear answers about what forms of communication can legally be monitored and who is responsible for protecting that information. His comments come as police investigate the alleged leak of a purported voice note that surfaced after Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander filed an affidavit referencing interstate intercepted communications involving Sabga. Abood says no one should be above a lawful investigation, but surveillance must be based on credible evidence, proper authorization, and independent oversight. He is also questioning who decides whom to monitor, whether warrants are required, and ultimately who is policing the police. Meanwhile, opposition leader Penelope Beckles is questioning why no criminal charges have been laid if the government believes it has evidence of a conspiracy to assassinate the Prime Minister.
Beckles argued that authorities have repeatedly claimed to have intelligence linking individuals to serious criminal activity, yet they've relied on the SOE and PDOs.
If you have evidence of a conspiracy to murder, you are simply going to use the state of emergency? I mean, for such a serious allegation, how is it that you haven't charged them? So you continuously use the state of emergency and the PDO.
Beckles also dismissed suggestions that references of MP Stuart Young in the alleged leaked audio should be viewed as evidence of wrongdoing. She says anyone's name could be mentioned in a conversation and cautions against drawing conclusions.
She also expressed concern over what she described as attempts to inject race into the public discourse while declining to comment directly on matters before the court. She rejected suggestions that the PNM should be associated with any particular ethnic group, saying the party represents people of every race.
I am calling on the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago to recognize it doesn't help us as a country for us to put race in the forefront. But what we must never do is to fuel race. And from what I'm seeing, this government is fueling issues as it relates to race, which does not help us.
Beckles also insisted the PNM will not be distracted by what she described as the government's attempts to shift the public's focus away from crime.
Well, overnight power outages across the east-west corridor and parts of south and central Trinidad were caused by a fault at the power gen plant in Point Lisas. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath told CNC3 News there was no evidence of sabotage. However, he says TNTEC officials advised that the fault occurred shortly after 10 p.m. Areas which were affected included Malabar, Independence Square, sections of the east-west corridor, Londonville, Lange Park, Endeavour, and parts of Rio Claro. The outage lasted about 30 minutes before power was fully restored.
It has to do with maintenance, and therefore they're going to be looking at all of the feeders within that system to ensure that it is fully maintained and so on, so that there's no reoccurrence.
TNTEC is now assessing the report submitted by PowerGen as officials try to determine whether changes are needed to prevent a repeat disruption from that facility.
Patients relying on the Chronic Disease Assistance Program, known as CDAP, continue to report difficulties accessing essential medication for diabetes, hypertension, and high cholesterol. While Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo says the issue is largely one of distribution and supply chain management, pharmacy associations say the problem runs deeper, with shortages affecting patients for months. The minister acknowledged that improving the availability of medicines remains one of the country's ministry's biggest challenges, alongside shortages of healthcare workers. But pharmacists on the front line say many commonly prescribed medications have been difficult to obtain since late last year.
You might have shortages here and there. There's always the opportunity in any particular RHA to try and source the drug if it's not available at one health center. Sometimes it's available at another health center. The pharmacists have been instructed, in fact, that if at their particular pharmacy there is a shortage of a particular drug, it is incumbent upon them to call around within the region and to find out, if it's available at another pharmacy. It might be a distribution issue, and it's really a supply chain issue as well.
The Association of Pharmacist-Owned Pharmacies says the situation is forcing many patients to purchase medication privately at a time when many households are already under financial strain. A second pharmacy body agrees distribution is only part of the problem. The Private Pharmacy Retail Business Association says delayed payments to pharmaceutical distributors have also disrupted supplies, although it believes the situation is beginning to improve following recent government payments and new CDAP tenders. The association expects some medications currently in short supply to return during the August supply cycle. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers is defending government's recent decision to vote against extending the term of United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk.
Trinidad and Tobago was the only CARICOM country to oppose the extension, joining nations including the United States, Russia and North Korea. The move drew criticism from former Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amory Brown, who claimed the government had failed to explain its position and suggested the country's foreign policy was being compromised. But Sobers says the vote had nothing to do with Turk's performance or TNT's position on the Israel-Palestine conflict. He said government's objection was to what it described as a rushed appointment process.
We saw that the concerns that were raised were not properly dealt with, and we voted in a particular way to demonstrate that, listen, we are not comfortable with the manner in which this vote would have taken place. But it has nothing to do with the work of the Human Rights Council. It has nothing to do with the person himself. As I said before, he has done some good work.
He also accused the opposition of misleading the public and fear-mongering by linking the vote to the Israel-Palestine issue. Meanwhile, Dr. Amory Brown renewed his criticism of the government's decision, describing TNT's vote as bizarre. He maintained that foreign policy belongs to the citizens and not to any administration.
The foreign policy of a country is not your personal property to negotiate away, to trade away, to sell away, or to fritter away our sovereignty. These policies belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and you have to account to them.
Meanwhile, Minister Saddam Hussein says the UNC administration has made strengthening relations with Muslim-majority nations a foreign policy priority since taking office.
Earlier today, Minister of Planning, Economic Affairs and Development Kennedy Swartzing met with both Matanya Cohen, Ambassador of Israel to Trinidad and Tobago, and Einat Schlein, Ambassador and Director General of Mashav, Israel's Agency for International Development Cooperation, for bilateral discussions.
A former Finance Minister, Com Imbert, warns this country is at risk of a credit rating downgrade, while also accusing the government of mishandling the economy and creating confusion over pension tax exemption.
Meanwhile, the future of Trinidad and Tobago's largest solar project is under fresh scrutiny tonight after government confirmed the facility is no longer supplying electricity to the grid. Andrea Perez Sobers has more in tonight's Business Watch.
Former Finance Minister Com Imbert says the government is painting an inaccurate picture of Trinidad and Tobago's economic position following the latest assessment by Standard & Poor's. Speaking at the opposition's conference on Wednesday, Imbert outlines why the country retained its investment grade BBB- rating, the agency's negative outlook should not be ignored. He argues that the report warns of a 1 in 3 chance of a downgrade over the next year unless the government strengthens public finances, support long-term economic growth, and protects the country's external position.
So I am urging everyone, grow a backbone, grow a conscience, do honest analysis. Let the country know what is really going on with our economy, because we are not in a good place.
Imbert also turned his attention to the ongoing dispute over the taxation of corporate pension plans. The issue surfaced after insurance companies continued deducting tax from some corporate deferred annuity pension payments, despite government's announcement that private pension plans would be tax exempt.
The law makes it clear clear that these plants have to be purchased by the individuals and not the company. That's just another example of his incompetence. It's the same thing we experienced with the landlord tax, where he sent out a press release to say that the landlord tax would be subject of a tax credit. Not true.
Turning to other business news, Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath says the Brechin Castle solar farm is no longer producing electricity months after TNTech stopped taking power from the facility. The minister says the plant was disconnected from the grid at the end of January this year and blamed shortcomings during the project's development under the previous administration.
The lack of vision, due diligence from the former administration did not provide for a cost-benefit analysis in terms of how it would impact on the operational cost of TNTech. And therefore, right now it is in review between parties, and more will be said about this in the later stages.
The Brechin Castle solar farm, located in Kuvatalparo, is the country's first utility-scale solar facility and is owned by Shell, BPTT, and the National Gas Company. Read more in tomorrow's Business Guardian. And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez-Sober's CNC3 Business Watch.
Still to come in the news tonight, the government revives plans for the country's first human breast milk bank and signals new workplace policies for breastfeeding mothers.
It was a wickedly warm day across the islands. Just how high did our temperatures get? I'll tell you more after the break.
Hey, man. Where are you? Okay. He said 5 minutes. Anyone want dessert? Maybe he's stuck at the office? Surprise! Not yet, Carl. Bro, I'm literally at the altar right now.
Relax. I'm almost there.
We're like the friend who isn't always late.
You have the rings.
CG United. Good like that.
KC Gingermint, your trusted and natural wellness. Now with healthier options. KC Gingermint with honey and lime. KC Gingermint with orange and KC Gingermint with lemon. KC Ginger, honey, lemon, lime, and orange. Natural and trusted for generations for soothing sore throats and digestion and boost immunity. Get your new KC Candy Gingermint extended range today and breathe naturally.
Textbooks, screens, late nights. Your eyes work hard through every class, exam, project, and deadline. Ferrara Optical has eyewear specifically designed to reduce eye strain so nothing holds your learning back. For a limited time, youth get a free frame with lenses from just $495. Scholars get frame and lenses starting at only $750. And lifelong learners save up to 30% off your purchase of advanced lenses like Eisen and transitions. Less strain, more focus. Your vision without limits. Visit Ferrara Optical in store today. This promotion is NLCB approved.
Surfside Pool and Leisure is an exclusive distributor of Hayward Pool products in Trinidad and Tobago. We stock industry-leading pumps, high-performance filters, pool chemicals, and sanitizers to keep your pool performing at its best. When it's time to relax, explore our range of floats, loungers, toys, and pool accessories designed for the perfect backyard experience. Visit us 150 Boundary Road, San Juan, 78 SS Aaron Road, San Fernando. Top brands, expert advice, trusted service. Call 235-7665.
Mega month and deals now on at Passad's The Food King. Stock up and save big on Catalina tomato ketchup 750 ml. Get 4 packs for only $20. Clorox bleach 2 liters now $20. Coca-Cola 591 ml. Get 5 bottles for only $20. Fresh Harvest peas and carrots. Get 4 tins for only $20. Green Butterfly evaporated milk 250 ml. Get 3 packs for $20. Golden brand margarine. Get 4 sticks for only $20. Cold soft drink, 2 liters. Get 3 bottles for only $20. Cataly pasta cuts. Get 5 packs for just $20. Matook's peanut butter, 250 grams. 2 tubs, now $20. Don't miss these mega month-end deals at Passad's The Food King. Sale end August 5th, 2026, or while stocks last.
Passad, quality value, that's our way. The real Passads, we're here to stay. The Food King Passads.
It's now time for the weather forecast. And Sigourney, I thought I was taking a nice cool walk into the capital today.
The joke is on you.
Listen, that heat was unbearable. I literally said to myself, you can't play maths in this heat.
No, you can't. But you could just keep hydrated, keep cool, have a hat, and you may need all of those things into tomorrow's forecast because we are in, unfortunately, for more hot, steamy conditions across Trinidad and Tobago. Just one more day. Let's take a look at that forecast because we are starting to see some relief. We thought we were getting it last night. Unfortunately, we did not because this tropical wave is taking its time to come into the general area. So this is that bit of moisture that we're looking at right now. It is a tropical wave moving in a westward fashion. It's just rolling in really slowly because with it is a lot of Saharan dust here. So let me show you what we're working with here. All of this, yeah, that's the Saharan air layer. It's even extending into the Caribbean Sea at this time, and Trinidad and Tobago just on the southern fringe of that dust plume right now. The tropical wave that we're expecting to come into play come early Friday is really going to have a battle ahead. How much rain shower activity will we actually get from this wave? We're hoping we get enough because we're in need for some relief from all of this heat. And today's temperatures, we're packing a punch. 33 degrees Celsius if you are in Trinidad, Tobago, coming in at 32 degrees Celsius. And you're wondering, hey, we're in the rainy season. Where's the rain? Why are we getting so much heat? Well, unfortunately, into this evening and into tomorrow's forecast, we're in for some more dry conditions into this forecast before that tropical wave, just inching in the corner of our screen here, moves a little bit closer into our area. So tonight, warm temperatures. Crank up your fans and your air conditioning units because we're in for some wickedly warm temperatures in the next couple of hours. Mainly clear skies, so with a little bit of dust haze still present. If you're in Tobago, an odd shower right now moving across the southern and eastern portion of the island, but not a lot to talk about. A light pitter-patter. Into tomorrow morning, a quick passing, very light shower as the day progresses. Breezy to windy conditions for both islands. Will it be enough to keep you cool? Honestly, no, because the humidity will be packing a punch. Temperatures come in at the lower 30s, but the humidity and the heat index will be coming in into the upper 30s, approaching 40 degrees Celsius. So pay attention where that is concerned. You really want to keep cool and hydrated. A little morning rain, and then as the day goes on, lots of drying out, but then we wait for that tropical wave come Friday. If you're heading offshore, winds are building into this forecast, so all marine interests take note. Conditions are moderate but occasionally choppy offshore, and spring tide is very much in effect, so extra caution, especially during your high tide times. So hey, no relief right now, but hopefully the next 24 hours things change and that tropical wave brings in some rain.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Sigourney. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi everyone. A few weeks ago, we were delighted to join the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce to launch the 2026 Champions of Business Awards, celebrating this year's theme, In the Spirit of Excellence. At ProMan, we're proud to sponsor the Green Agenda Award for the second consecutive year, and we'd love to see organizations from across Trinidad and Tobago put themselves forward. Last year's winner, Slim Down 360, showed that organizations of any size can make a meaningful impact through practical, sustainable action. So if your organization is reducing waste, improving energy efficiency, embracing innovation, or finding more sustainable ways to do business, we'd encourage you to apply. Remember, you don't have to be a member of the TT Chamber to apply. Nominate a deserving organization or be nominated. With just a few more days before applications close on July 31st, now is the time to act. Simply click on the link below to view the award criteria and submit your application or nomination. And finally, if you know a business that's doing great work, please share this video with them or across your network. We'd love to see as many deserving organizations as possible enter. We wish everyone the best of luck, and we look forward to celebrating this year's finalists.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
The biggest party in sport is back. Catch every TKR match live and exclusively on CNC3, August 7th through September 20th. You don't want to miss the action. The Republic Bank CPL 2026, only on CNC3. Passion, energy, and cricket live here. Special thanks to our title broadcast sponsor, Republic Bank.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Welcome back. Breastfeeding is often described as something that comes naturally, but for many mothers, it takes time, patience, and support to find what works best for both mother and baby.
In commemoration of World Breastfeeding Week, the health minister says discussions have resumed on establishing the country's first human breast milk bank. He's also signaling new policies aimed at making it easier for mothers to continue breastfeeding after returning to work.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrand. Get what you need naturally.
World Breastfeeding Week is observed during the first week of August each year, shining a spotlight on the health benefits of breastfeeding for both babies and mothers. Ahead of this year's observance, the Breastfeeding Association, PAHO, and the Ministry of Health joined forces for a public awareness walk, encouraging more families to embrace breastfeeding and the support systems that make it possible. The World Health Organization recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of a baby's life. Pediatrician Dr. Vanessa Stewart says Trinidad and Tobago is working toward having at least half of all newborns exclusively breastfed during those critical first 6 months.
We have hospitals that are now baby-friendly institutions, and this has come about, yes, with the strengthening, the constant strengthening.
This year's theme, Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start, Strengthen That Works, highlights that breastfeeding is much more than nutrition. This country's PAHO representative says breastfeeding lays the foundation for healthier families and stronger communities.
But sustainability also begins in a much more intimate and powerful place. In a mother's arms, in the first moments of life, and in the quiet act of nourishing a child with love, protection, and hope.
Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo says nearly every public hospital has now achieved baby-friendly hospital status, with only the Port of Spain General Hospital remaining to be certified. He also revealed that government has revived discussions on creating Trinidad and Tobago's first human breast milk bank, an initiative first proposed in 2017.
I've mandated the relevant department to work at a pace to see if we can refresh and renew. And I'm happy to announce that, we're trying. I can't announce the breast milk bank yet, but I'm happy to announce that major steps, are being taken through our partners, including PAHO, to try, to try and restart the conversation.
Dr. Bodo says while breastfeeding is ultimately a personal decision, mothers are far more likely to succeed when they receive support from their families, healthcare providers, and employers. He says government is now moving to strengthen that support by introducing more breastfeeding-friendly workplaces.
There is something on the agenda coming forward in the new parliamentary term that will speak to additional time for mothers who are breastfeeding at the workplace.
World Breastfeeding Week continues to promote policies and environments that empower women to breastfeed and give every child the healthiest possible start in life. Akash Samaru, CNC3 News.
Wellness Wednesday, brought to you by BioStrath. Get what you need naturally.
All right, it is now time for sport with Jassy. And Jassy, the medals continue to roll in at the CAC Games for Team TTO.
That's right, Ryan. Make that 4 bronze medals now. Akil Campbell moves from 6th to 3rd in his final race to climb the podium in the men's Omnium. And FIFA comes under heavy fire after plans to privatize the World Cup hit a sour note with stakeholders. We'll explain after the break.
Excuse me, sir. I dropped this.
BioStrath food supplements for vitality and well-being.
You know, Richard.
Everybody only worrying.
Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Mega month and deals now on at Passad's The Food King. Stock up and save big on Ibis flour 10 kg, now just $68. Sweet Hand soybean oil 1.5 liters, just $25. Flavor Right assorted ice cream 3.2 liters, get 2 buckets for just $84. Sir dishwashing liquid 750 ml, 2 bottles, now $21.99. Cotoneer bathroom tissue 24 pack, now just $32. Split piece dal 400 grams, 3 packs, only $10. Central Farms halal cut up duck, only $90. Caribbean parboiled rice 9 kg, just $74.99. Pork leg, now $18 per pound. Don't miss these mega month-end deals at Passad's The Food King. Sale end August 5th, 2026, or while stocks last.
Passad, quality value, that's our way. The real Passad's, we're here to stay. The Food King Passad's.
Seven PM Sports News, brought to you by Tatil and Tatil Life.
Welcome back. While the world knew him as the greatest cricketer to play the sport, legendary former West Indies all-rounder Sir Garfield Sobers is remembered also as a generous father, friend, and person. Those virtues were extolled in several tributes to the great man at his funeral service in Bridgetown, Barbados on Wednesday. Here's Ian Wason with more.
Sir Gary Sobers was brutal with a bat, even becoming the first person to hit 6 sixes in an over. Sobers scored over 8,000 runs from 93 tests with a high score and a then world record of 365 not out, feats that earned him a worldwide reverence, which brought with it a different kind of family life.
For me, it was a thing of normalcy. Doesn't every dad at the age of 21 score 365 not out? And hit 6 sixes in an over whenever he feels like it? What I also remember is that he was always busy and traveled a lot, and that I missed him when he was gone.
As fearsome as he was on the field, Sobers was as elegant as they come, and this reflected in his personal life. And despite his fame and busy schedule, he never surrendered his family responsibilities.
Away from the busy demands of his life, staring across from the back seat, I'd feel safe as he sat confidently and reassuringly at the wheel. In the car, he would play his favorite music cassette tapes. As a lover of westerns, John Wayne being his favorite cowboy actor, country music had a special place in his heart.
Another measure of Sir Gary's influence beyond his cricketing exploits could be easily seen in the cross-section of attendees, rubbing shoulders with the numerous cricketing luminaries, with the likes of international R&B songstress Rihanna, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and former TNT Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, among other dignitaries and public figures. King Charles conveyed regards in a written sentiment read by Reverend Canon Guy Hewitt, who also brought greetings in behalf of former West Indies cricketer Michael Holding and several UK politicians, religious figures and others. Sir Gary Sobers, considered the greatest ever who played, will continue to be loved and missed by many. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Though not at all dismissed or played down, Sir Gary's life on the cricket field seemed to dwarf in comparison to his influence in regular life. However, former West Indies captain Sir Clive Lloyd is leading calls for Sir Gary's cricketing mentorship to be blueprinted. Sir Clive used his early on-the-field interactions to make a case.
From one West Indies legend to another, former West Indies captain Sir Clive Lloyd verbally raised his bat to his former captain Sir Gary Sobers at the latter's funeral at the Kensington Oval in Barbados today. Lloyd, who made his Test debut under Sobers' captaincy in 1966, called on Cricket West Indies to allow young cricketers to play with and against the best of the West Indies players of the day.
I realized that if I could succeed against Hall, Sobers and Griffith, then perhaps I could compete successfully against the finest cricketers anywhere in the world.
Another former West Indies captain, Brian Lara, attested to this in the way Sobers mentored him in his early career.
That unique walk of Sir Garfield Sobers entering the field in Antigua was something very, very special for me. To have the man that was my mentor, the man that believed in me, to be there was something very special. That hug, you guys don't understand that hug. It felt like if he was silently telling himself, my son did it.
Sobers would have turned 90 on Tuesday, prompting Lara to urge regional powers to start thinking about what West Indies cricket should look like in 10 years on Sobers' 100th.
Use this opportunity to create a Sir Garfield Sobers initiative. That when we come back in 10 years' time to celebrate his 100th birthday, we might be celebrating a true resurgence in West Indies cricket.
In front of an audience that included the Bajan West Indies players who helped West Indies beat Pakistan by 90 runs in Tarouba, Trinidad on Tuesday, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley implored the entire regional team to continue to aspire to excellence as an ideal way to honor Sir Gary's legacy.
I said to Captain Chase, there could have been no greater way to have won this game. You did it better and with flair. We salute you, but we ask you, in the name of Sir Gary, to keep trucking on and keep winning.
After a fine innings of 89, Sobers, the greatest, was laid to rest. Ian Wason, CNC3 Sport.
Well, as Barbados and the wider region paid their final respects to the cricketing giant that was Sir Garfield Sobers, we wanted to find out what you think are appropriate ways that CARICOM could honour the former West Indies captain.
They should rename one of the stadium after him. The next thing they should do also is that CARICOM should have a national day of October throughout the entire Caribbean for him.
Near the stadium after him. They should make a statue out of him so people can remember.
Well, stadium after him, you know, support his family and things. And I mean, everybody had to live. I think they should honor his name by naming something after him and giving him his family something worth his impact.
By giving him name on a stadium. I mean, he did cricket for how much years, and I think he did a really good honor to the Caribbean communities.
Para-athlete Akeem Stewart won Trinidad and Tobago's first 2026 Commonwealth Games medal when he picked up bronze in the men's F42 to 44 discus throw earlier this evening. Stewart's season's best, 56.82 meters, was on his fifth attempt. Welsh athlete Aled Davies won gold in a 48.38 meter effort. Sri Lanka's Palitha Halga Hawela won silver. Boxer Nigel Paul progressed from the quarterfinals in the men's 90-plus kilogram division by unanimous decision over Togo's Ramzi Salifu. Paul was given the nod by all 5 judges in the final 2 rounds to complete a comeback in the match and is now guaranteed at least a bronze when he faces India's Narendra Burwal in the semi-finals for a spot in the final. Team TTO's Kelsey Daniel finished 7th in the final field of 12 athletes in the men's long jump with a best leap of 7.90 meters. And Trinidad and Tobago's first gold medalist at this year's CAC Games, Nikolai Blackman, finished second in Heat 5 in 50.06 seconds to qualify 5th fastest in the men's 100-meter freestyle. Of course, we cannot tell you that he has since won gold in that event in 49.15, so that's his second gold of the Games. Meanwhile, Akil Campbell brought in another bronze for Team TTO. A third-place finish in the men's omnium. Campbell amassed 132 points in the 4-race program to finish behind Ricardo Peña of Mexico, who won gold in with 140 points, and Cuba's Ricardo Delgado, who got silver with 135. Phoebe Sandy was stopped in the quarterfinals of the women's sprint with the 7th fastest time in preliminary rounds. Her compatriot Kyra Williams qualified 10th fastest as well. Both riders then faced each other in the round of 16, from which Sandy advanced to the quarterfinal, where she eventually lost to Stephanie Cuadrado. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago's men's hockey team shut out Barbados 5-0 in their third Group A match today. Nicholas Subot, he scored a double with 1 apiece from Nicholas Whiteman, Caleb Giuseppe, and Jordan Reynos. Now to some news that's disturbing all of football. It's FIFA's proposal to sell a stake of the World Cup continuing to draw angst from the game's global players. On Tuesday, FIFA President Gianni Infantino unveiled plans to create a company to run the World Cup along with private investors. The proposed commercial subsidiary, to be called FIFA Forward Enterprise, would oversee FIFA's major commercial events, including the World Cup and the Club World Cup. Among those voicing opposition to the idea is the Union of European Football Associations, or UEFA, which threatened to boycott the World Cup, saying, quote, "The soul of our game is not for sale," end quote. UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham echoed UEFA's stance, also stating that the World Cup was not a product for sale. FIFA has reportedly given its two if they vote in favour. CONCACAF has also come out in strong condemnation, stating that there was no consultation before the announcement. When contacted on Wednesday, TTFA President Kieran Edwards confirmed that CONCACAF has convened an emergency meeting on Thursday morning.
What the TTFA would continue to look for is just to get a bit more information of the fine details around the whole thing before a decision can be made on the position of the TTFA. CONCACAF as a group would have reached out to all the executive, all the presidents, to have a president meeting tomorrow morning. We have some time before any decision will be made, left or right. And we gather any information. We'll have an executive meeting. We'll we'll have discussions on it, and the TTF will have a position shortly.
In some regional news, the CFU Club Shield semi-final fixtures have been decided, and Guyana's Raekwon Noel is golden at the CAC Games.
In Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic at the CAC Games, Guyana's Raekwon Noel created history, winning gold in the men's 200-meter individual medley in a game's record time of 1 minute, 59.35 seconds. Noel is the first Guyanese swimmer to break the 2-minute barrier in the event. Delfines del Este FC of the Dominican Republic is through to the CFU Club Shield semi-finals after edging Curaçao's Inter Willemstad 6-5 on penalties following a 1-all quarter-final draw at the Otto Bolden Stadium on Tuesday. Emmanuel Gomez gave Delfines the lead in the 36th minute before Runsley Lateria leveled for Inter early in the second half. With neither side able to find a winner, the Dominican Republic club held its nerve from the spot to set up a semi-final clash with Puerto Rico's Metropolitan FA. Over at the Larry Gomes Stadium, Suriname's SV Robin Hood booked its place in the Final Four with a commanding 4-0 win over Guyana's Slingers FC. Renske Adipi opened the scoring, while Ravello Ziegler scored a brace and Dimitrio Anjo also found the net. Robin Hood will meet Jamaica's Mount Pleasant FA in the Final Four. Samaki Felician, CNC3 Sport.
Our Sport Eye tonight samples some football preseason excellence. We had to apologize for that technical error there, but certainly on a night that we will remember, a day that we will remember for a long time, the send-off of Sir Gary Sobers. Some really touching tributes and some excellent suggestions on ways he should be honored.
I love those suggestions.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Jassy. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
The moment my children came into my life, I do everything I can for them to live healthy, enjoyable lives. Nature's Ways Alive Kids Gummies are multivitamin gummies meant to support the development of children's bodies. They come in delicious fruit flavors and contain natural plant-based pectin. This means that if I'm looking for an alternative to animal-based gelatin for personal reasons, they are the best choice for my little ones. Choose Alive Kids Gummies by Nature's Way for your children because they deserve it.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chagonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need. The best eyewear this summer is at Seaview Optical. Buy one complete clear single vision glasses for $499. Get the second pair free. Or get progressive transitions with designer frames for only $1,399. The best in luxury eyewear. All exclusively available at Seaview Optical.
Eastgate's Mall. Are you ready? The Spellbound Caravan is rolling in with an afternoon packed with action, excitement, and family fun. Round up the crew, tackle the Hive of 5 challenge, race against the clock, and prove you've got what it takes to come out on top. The excitement continues with interactive experiences by the Ministry of Planning, Economic Affairs, and Development. Meet your favorite Spellbound hosts, strike a pose at our photo stations, then score fantastic prizes and giveaways from our sponsors. Catch all the action on Saturday, August 8th, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Eastgate's Mall. See you there.
The ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League is back. 5 teams, 12 matches, $1 million on the line. From July 23rd to August 1st, don't miss the ExxonMobil Guyana Global Super League, where champions are made.
Here's tonight's regional roundup.
A survivor of the deadly MV Barima sinking in Guyana has died, as authorities continue a massive air and sea search for about 30 people still missing. The number of survivors has now dropped to 76, while 73 bodies have been recovered. Officials say the search operation will continue as long as there is a possibility of finding more survivors or recovering remains. The vessel's captain and 2 crew members have also appeared in court, charged with the murders of 73 victims. 2 American men have been found guilty of murdering Canadian entrepreneur Daniel Langlis and his partner Dominique Marchand in Dominica. The Quebec couple, well-known philanthropists and founders of a luxury resort, were reported missing in late 2023 before their bodies were discovered in a burnt-out vehicle. Prosecutors say Jonathan Leray, a neighbor locked in a bitter land dispute along with Langlis and Robert Sidney Jr., carried out the killings. Sentencing is pending. Jensen Lavend, CNC3 News.
All right, well, that's where we'll have to leave you. But before we go, let's remind you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms.
There you'll find tonight's stories, the latest updates, and exclusive content. And don't forget to pick up a copy of the TNT Guardian newspaper.
We've come to the end of the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ria Rambo.
I'm Ryan Baichu.
I am Jassy Marik.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed. Have a good night.